Breaking news. This morning, Warren Buffett was spotted at the Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting where he was filmed, apparently doing active product placement for Coca-Cola, spewing rhetoric and trying to convince people that he is defending human freedom, while at the same time endorsing slavery in the United States and endorsing a company that has largely contributed to human rights abuses, that being Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola boycott continues around the United States and Mexico after the company called ICE on its employees. Hundreds of thousands agreed to drink Pepsi instead. Coca-Cola has had a long history of being involved in unethical activities and participating in wars. It is my personal opinion, as a political commentator, that it certainly appears that Warren Buffett is endorsing white supremacy, slavery, and the Confederacy in the statements that he made this morning at the Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the footage. First of all, before we get started, why does he have two bottles? And he is obviously trying to make sure that we know what company this is. That is product placement. Okay, so I grew up in the 90s, and product placement was a big thing back then. You know, they did it a lot in movies. And that is what this is called. This is called product placement. We're now going to listen to the words of Warren Buffett, where what he does is he spews rhetoric. Rhetoric is defined by the Oxford Dictionary as the art of persuasive speaking or writing, especially the use of figures of speech and other compositional techniques, language designed to have a persuasive or impressive effect on its audience, but often regarded as lacking in sincerity or meaningful content. That is according to the Oxford Languages Dictionary online via Google. In his little speech, Warren Buffett proceeds to talk about how we need to return to harvesting cotton and tobacco in the United States, which if you know anything about those products and what it is that he is referencing, if you study American history, you can clearly see that those are particularly products that were harvested in the South by the Confederate States by slaves. For that reason, I believe, as a political commentator, that Warren Buffett is endorsing slavery. These are my opinions based on my observations. I am using my First Amendment right to freedom of speech as a journalist in the United States. I am a political commentator. We are now going to go ahead and listen to the crap coming out of Warren Buffett's mouth.
No question, the trade can be an act of war, and I think it's led to bad things. Just the attitudes it's brought out in the United States. I mean, we should be looking to trade with the rest of the world, and we should do what we do best, and they should do what they do best. And I don't think it... That's what we did originally. I mean, we were good at producing tobacco and cotton 250 years ago, and we traded it. And we want a prosperous world with 8 countries with nuclear weapons, including a few that are what I would call quite unstable. I do not think it's a great idea to try and design a world where a few countries say, ha, 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 we've won, and other countries are envious. So, no question.
You would think that such a well-renowned man speaking on issues of trade would have something better to say than making clear reference to goods that were traded in the South, the labor which was stolen from people of color by entitled, lazy slave owners in American history. You know, there's all this crap out there trying to tout Warren Buffett as some sort of ethical tradesman, but I think that he has just cleared himself of that title. My name's Waffles, I'm a government whistleblower, political commentator. These are my opinions and perspectives based on my observations. I am an American citizen and I am using my First Amendment right to freedom of speech and freedom of the press in expressing these opinions. I think this is very important because, you know, there's people in the comments and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, that's right, it's a trade war, this shouldn't be going on. That is correct. But at the same time, he is spewing rhetoric and he is deliberately trying to manipulate you because he is involved in, apparently, I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like he is certainly involved in whatever is taking place that involves the dismantling of our economy, and he is in support of doing harm to the average civilian. That's what it looks like. That is what it looks like based on what he's saying. You know, that's an attempt to manipulate. Yes, it is an act of war to be destroying the economy on purpose. I mean, that's what these tariffs look like. But I don't think that we need to go back to harvesting cotton and tobacco. I mean, tobacco's not very good for your health, is it? So I do think that there's better things we could be doing than, you know, going back to what things were like 250 years ago. It's 2025. This is a modern world. You know, it's very strange to me. A lot of these people are very elderly that are trying to force all of this upon us. But I do not think that we should be taking the words coming out of Warren Buffett's mouth as a good thing in this particular situation. So I just wanted to point it out that whatever's going on at Berkshire Hathaway with their little meeting this morning, appears to be very strange and not in the interest of the general population and vast majority of the American citizenry. There are 340 million of us here in the United States of America. The vast majority of us do not support slavery. And I will also say that, you know, my personal opinion on people who think that they should have the right to determine whether or not another human being who is no less human than them deserves the right to food, shelter, happiness, well-being, medical care, etc. I mean, so far from what I've seen, you know, in regards to the issue of white supremacy and the people who believe that the Caucasian population in the United States is somehow entitled to the spoils of another person's labor, I just see a lazy, worthless human being that's not willing to work for what they have in life and generally lacks basic life skills, who is very caught up in the issue of ego, very lost in ego, for some reason seems to think that their ego is God's gift to the world, when there is a global population of over 5 billion human beings, and all of us human beings have an ego. And I just personally don't think that just because 1 out of 5-point-something billion people on the planet Earth feels special because of their ego, that they should deserve to be treated like they are somehow special. I work for what I have. You should do the same. I think that the suffering that is caused by people who believe that they are entitled to the rights of another person's life for the things that another person has worked hard for, and with what we're seeing in regards to all of this public debate about women's rights to bodily autonomy, I think there is something very wrong with these individuals. I think that these are lesser men who believe in these kinds of things because they're not willing to work for what they have, and, you know, the most of them seem to lack basic life skills like the ability to clean your own motherfucking toilet. But the amount of suffering that these people create, you know, what it results in is not good for human nature. It is not how we are wired as human beings. It causes a lot of suffering, and I just think there's something really wrong with these people. My name is Waffles, and I'm a government whistleblower turned political commentator. These are my opinions based on my observations and what I am seeing at this Berkshire Hathaway meeting with Warren Buffett this morning, May 3rd, 2025.
So the Olympics is great. And Johnny, for the others, you know, the World Cup, Johnny is the head of it. We had our top people, Wasserman. They all came in on the Olympics, and then I saw Johnny. And we got the World Cup, too. And, you know, it's only because they rigged the election that I'll be your president representing you there. You know, I got both of them. I got the Olympics, and I got the World Cup. And I said, you know, it's too bad. One was in 2026, and the other was in 2028. And I said, I won't be there. I won't be your president. But then they rigged the election, and now we won, so I'm going to be your president for the Olympics and for the World Cup. So, Johnny, thank you for the World Cup, and everybody, thank you for the Olympics. We're going to have a great time.
Hey guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment to my videos. And also, don't forget to check out my shop where you could get this awesome Real Patriots Punch Nazis t-shirt. America, fuck yeah! And if you go to the link tree in my bio on most platforms, it's got links to everything, all of my stuff. You can find my shop there. I'm on eBay. You can also get this cool Exterminate MAGA sticker, because MAGA's fucking cockroaches. And fuck MAGA. Abolish MAGA. Fuck you, MAGA.
The blinds still lead, the fabric's tearing